Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We are now less than a week away from the boat being shipped off to St. Petersburg, Florida for a short stint before ultimately heading on to Nassau, Bahamas, put into charter service, and of course for a little pleasure for myself, hopefully be utilizing it a pretty fair amount. So to get everybody caught up on where we are with things, lots has gone on in the last week and a half or so since I last posted a video, and it's most of it, or at least a lot of it, is from the whatever can go wrong will go wrong category, and we as boaters are all very familiar with that. So I'll get everyone caught up on the Axiom weather Raymarine multifunction display topic that I left off the last video with, kind of to get everybody caught up. As a reminder, we were having difficulty integrating the Axiom weather SR200 Raymarine module with the existing multifunction displays that I have, which are Raymarine GS165s, which are only a little over 2 years old. So what Raymarine had recommended to us was to add an Axiom multifunction display into the existing system that I have, and that the Axiom would recognize the XM weather and could thus communicate with the older, I say older, only 2.5 years old, Raymarine GS165s. So went and bought an Axiom 9 with the 3D sonar imaging, which cost the MFD itself was about $1,300, and then the two transducers that I had to get was another about $1,800. So, and on top of that, you got to buy a couple cables to get everything all connected. So all in that whole thing, I'm over $3,500 before tax. So I get my guys to install the Axiom 9 up at the helm, and I'll put some images up of that here in just a few minutes. Looks really cool. It's kind of small compared to the 165s, but it's a heck of a piece of equipment. So get it all put in there, and big surprise, it does not in fact communicate with the GS165s like Raymarine told us it would. And it finally took getting their tech guys wherever they are to actually put on their bench the exact same setup that I have, including the GS165 and the new Axiom, for them to finally realize that they were telling us the wrong information the whole time, and that these two aren't actually communicating like they're supposed to. And they've assured us that at some point in the not terribly distant future, i.e. within a few months, that some software update will be coming, which will allow us to use this equipment like I had originally intended. So in the meantime, essentially what I'm going to have is the two GS165s at the helm that I've had in there for 2.5 years, then an additional Axiom 9 sitting there that's really kind of completely independent of the other two Raymarine monitors. So the new Axiom will be connected to the XM weather, and it will also be connected to the transducers that give the really cool 3D imaging underwater. I'll show you guys that again here in just a few minutes. It's really cool looking. I wish the systems would communicate better, but apparently that's coming, and I'll have to wait a little bit. So this is the new Raymarine mounted at the helm over here. This is where that empty space used to be. This is the steering wheel, of course, and the other instruments. My GS165s are under that cover. So this is in a simulation mode here. I'll show you the fish finder. This is the coolest part. So you can have it kind of following the boat like this one is. You can have it over it, and you can have it kind of from an angle at the top, and with all sorts of different features, like, you know, you can go through and move it like that, so you're kind of looking from down below. Like those things in there represent like fish or something in the water, at least. That would be fish right there. But really cool. It's got you can change the range, of course. You can actually change the colors on there. But this is a really cool feature. Okay, to kind of update you on the electronics, not a whole lot has changed over here. They've added these switches that can turn the music off and on, outside or inside. It's just kind of a quick way to do that. That's still the same head unit. So this is the control unit for the satellite TV. And the second installment of What Can Go Wrong Will Go Wrong comes with the satellite TV. So about 3 weeks ago, when the boat was out of the slip, I tried to watch a program on the satellite and it kept saying no signal. You know, I've run into some issues before, but never anything major. So I notified the audio video guys that, hey, for some reason the satellite is not getting an image. Okay, well, we'll look at it. So, you know, we pull the boat out from under the slip, move it over, and they fiddle with a few things. Lo and behold, they can't get it to do anything either. Then this box, this antenna control unit, kept sending up an initializing code that clearly something was malfunctioning. So they got Intellian on the phone, who, you know, they were a little bit helpful. And, you know, the whole, well, have you tried turning it off and turning it back on thing, which wears me out. But, you know, once we got past that, they kind of did a lot of troubleshooting. The guys literally fiddled with that for probably 4 or 5 hours one day. And came to find out that there's some coiled wire that's in the satellite dome that needs to be replaced. So right now, I have no working satellite television, but hopefully that part that has now been ordered will be in soon, and the guys can get that replaced before the boat leaves for Florida. Up here, I got all my dry cleaning back. This is all the comforters. I'm going to still wait until the boat's in Florida before I put all that stuff on. Nobody's going to be staying on the boat until then anyway, so there's no point in doing that. Moving a little bit forward. The boat's still in a little bit of disarray. As you can see, you got all these manuals, cords, everything all over the place. This is some new of those gale force floats that I got. This is a little tent, as you can see, so we can take passengers to the beach if they want to, you know, grab some food there, drinks, and kind of hang out. Got a Keurig, got a ton of cleaning supplies, kind of loaded up on those so that we can take them to the island. This is an additional cooktop I have. The one on the boat works just fine, but this is just a secondary one in case we want to cook more things than has the capacity for here on the boat. Moving on to the back bedroom here. This box has the RV220 transducers, so both of those were in this box. I just opened up this one so I could kind of show you guys what these transducers look like. It's these big bronze through-hull transducers, as you can see in the box. I mean, these things are not small. They're really big. Let me get this thing out of here. And you can look it up on the Raymarine website. But I mean, this is a big, heavy transducer here. Of course, all the cables and everything that go with it, all the parts. So there's 2 of these. So I'm going to get the guys in St. Petersburg to install both of these. Should be really cool once it's in. You guys will really like what these things can do. All right, so up here in the cockpit, I've got my canvas back from the shop. They did some repair work. This is actually the original canvas that came with the boat. I've had the isinglass replaced, and then several of the snaps and just little wear and tear issues taken care of. Over here, I had them install this little bank of USB charging ports right over. This is the factory electrical outlet right there. But this will allow guests to charge all kinds of devices you know, whatever they need, and it's kind of fairly safe from the elements, especially inside this thing. So that's a pretty cool addition. So kind of the big thing, the canvas guys have brought me back this custom piece that I asked them to make, which is this extended kind of awning that comes out from the back of the roof here, and it looks really good. So this will provide obviously a lot of shade for, you know, guests that are sitting out here that don't want to be in the direct sun the whole time. Problem is, this pole that they've put in here seems to be a little loose and flimsy. You see it kind of shake it around a little bit, and I specifically told them that we can't have that. And then what they have for support here is this little string. I know it's probably hard to tell in the video here, but I mean, this string couldn't hold anything, much less being able to support this whole thing in, you know, 25 knot wind down in the Bahamas. So I've got a call in to the upholstery guys to see what they're going to do to get this fixed, because both of these things just aren't going to work. Particularly this string that's going down to the cleat, that cleat's going to be utilized an awful lot, and then this flimsy little thing right here, that's not going to work. So I'm going to have to get some updates on that, and it's going to have to get done real quick. So again, things that are out of my hands that are causing me some grief. Anyway, the thing looks nice. You know, functionally, I think it'll be great. You know, he's got this bar that goes across here. One of the things I told him is that I need it to be very easy to take down and move, particularly by one person. So, you know, I think that should in fact be the case, because once you take these lines off, which I think we're gonna probably end up replacing with some sort of bungee device or something like that, this will be collapsible right in the middle. So one person can take that out, unzip. It's zipped in 5 different places up in there, and then fold it down right here, and should collapse pretty nicely. We can either, you know, put it down inside, maybe put it down in the engine compartment, or put it in this rear storage. Third up in the what can go wrong, will go wrong category is the stereo. The subwoofers out in the cockpit have been giving me a problem for months and months, and you know, of course, I notified the audio video guys of that, and finally decided to look at the amplifier and realized that the amplifier was not functioning properly. So they have now taken the amplifier out and taking it in for repair to see if it can be repaired. And if so, they'll do that and put it back in. If not, then I get to buy a whole nother amplifier. So, you know, it's just money, keep burning it.